Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Irn-Cru, an American football podcast made in Scotland by NFL lovers. The big dance is just around the corner, and it's Friday, so it must be time for the preview crew, and it's a special Super Bowl preview crew this week. I'm your host, Dan, and joining me tonight, we've got a returning guest in Ian, and we've also got the big chief reffing bull when he turns up after he referees his football game tonight, so we'll catch up with him very soon. Ian, welcome back. It's your third appearance when you get your hat-trick ball. How's things?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Good to be back. Looking forward to it. Yeah, big one as well. But I feel special getting to come and talk about the big one.
I know this is my first Super Bowl with the crew as well, so I'm getting to host the preview crew of the Super Bowl. I feel very proud of you. Thanks, Keith, for that. He must have something better to do tonight. I've been pulled in to do it.
That's it.
Right, guys, so folks, it's 155 days ago that we kicked off the NFL season. We are now just 48 hours away from just over 48 hours away from Super Bowl 58. What a quick season this has been. It feels as if the season has just disappeared in the back of an eyelid. I was looking earlier on trying to find a stat, but if you remember, the Chiefs kicked off the season when they lost to the Lions. I couldn't figure a stat whether the same team has played in the first game of the season and the last game of the season, if that's ever happened before. So anybody that's listening or watching happens to know that, I can find that stat. Let us know, because it's an interesting one.
I assume the Patriots probably did it on their back-to-back Super Bowls.
I think so. The kickoff game's always just a random. It's more recently they've kind of started doing.
Is it actually? Is it?
Yeah, I think so. The kickoff game used to be just a random game.
Started the playoff or the Super Bowl winners. Okay.
Yeah. This week, the crew, we recorded a couple of podcasts with the Chiefs fans and the 49ers fans in the lead up to the Super Bowl. So they went in a lot of depth about both teams. So that's not something we're going to do tonight. We're not going to make you listen to the same stuff again. If you've not had a chance to watch or listen, go back. Brian done the guys, the Chiefs fans at the start of the week. Keith done the 49ers last night, and both of them were brilliant to listen to. It's good to hear guys, obviously having a biased point of view, but that's the whole point of the two preview crews, is to have those teams, but also they basically pick up the deficiencies of their own team. So as much, sorry, a neutral or a position fan saying, oh, 49ers could do this better, but to hear your own fans basically breaking down their own team, it was really interesting to watch and to listen. So make sure you go back and tune in that. So tonight we're going to give you a kind of overall preview without focusing too much on the team. We're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that goes on with the Super Bowl, out with the actual game itself, because there is a lot of stuff that happens that is not football related around the Super Bowl, which is good. We're also going to have some predictions about different aspects of the game. Obviously, we'll pick our winners as well. So as the night goes on, just see how this one goes for us. So, kick-off question. We're going to start with that, Ian. Kind of tradition with the crew, you'll know that from being on before. It gets a conversation going. So, taking the NFL out of the equation, we know Super Bowl is arguably the biggest sporting event in the yearly calendar as a one-off event. So, if you could pick either a one-off sporting event or a final day of a sporting event to attend, what would you pick and why?
So I had a wee thing earlier, and it came to me right away, which I think telltale, but I think it would have to be the 100 metres sprint final in the Olympics. I think that's probably the one that would just in that moment of being there and seeing it actually up close, live, just being in awe of. I think you can really appreciate how quick some of these guys actually go at that time and things like that. So, I think I thought about like some of the football ones, like Champions League final and things like that, but I think team will never ever get there, sort of thing. So I think whoever, if you get to it, that's fine. It'll be a spectacle, but I don't think you would really be like, oh, this is amazing. But I think something like that, this big arena, the whole world watching and the fastest people on the planet. I think that would be pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the ones that came into my head when I was kind of trying to think as well. And there's so many amazing sporting events that we've got across the world. And I thought, there's a lot of sports that I don't even follow that I would think, like the final day at the Ryder Cup, for example. I think that would be amazing if it was going down to the end. The atmosphere you always see, especially that last one. Like you say, the Champions League final, World Cup final, things like that as well.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, and I don't hide it, as a massive wrestling fan, it would have to be WrestleMania for me. Nice. I think, and it's a 2-day event now, so I'd have to pick my day, but yeah.
2 days? Oh,
Saturday and a Sunday night now.
Wow.
It's a whole weekend event now. You get a Friday night show, and then you WrestleMania Saturday, Sunday, and then you've got the Monday Night Raw as well. So,
wow. Did not know that. There you go.
So, somebody just got saying Instagram has got no audio. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's why they were saying that. This happened before. Keith told me, how did I fix this? Keith, there was an issue before where I can hear Instagram as well as other people hearing Instagram, but Paul, I don't know if that's fixed or not. I'm not sure. Hopefully, I've never done Instagram before. I don't want to hear it myself. That's the thing. Is there any way I can do this? What I'm saying, can I mute this tab? I'm not sure. Right. We'll just need to run with it. We'll see if it mutes. See if that makes a difference. If I unmute. Right, that might help. Hopefully that helps it. I've muted it on my screen, but hopefully I've unmuted it on actual Instagram. So thanks for the heads up with that, Paul. Hopefully we're running business with that one. So Ian, so as a Patriots fan yourself, you've obviously had a few dynasties within your time as a fan of the Patriots. So as this Chiefs team's obviously now on this run and been very successful, where do you see them shaping up? And I'm not going to compare them to the Patriots to an extent because the Patriots, there's a long way to go before they get to that sort of level. But in terms of as a dynasty, are they a dynasty or should we didn't say that?
I think they're probably on their way. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest, and I think, I'm not a fan of the Chiefs. I seen somebody saying I follow a lot of Patriots fans, and I seen a few something that made me laugh. It was like, this is how everybody else must have felt during those times, is because I'm fed up with the Chiefs. I'm fed up with the Hobbs. That it's not that I'm it's fed up, but I can kind of relate to that a lot and go, I can understand where the hatred then came from that sort of stuff. But I think this year the Chiefs haven't been firing well during the regular season, but they've still managed to come through unscathed, perform when they needed to, and then when it got to the playoffs, they just kind of looked like a different team, and that's kind of how the Patriots done it for a long period of that. It's and last year as well, they were kind of written off at the beginning of the season. Oh, this is the end. They had a couple of losses, and then all of a sudden, they come through again. And then, this year, still a bad start off to the Lions. Things aren't really going too well. Their receiving call's not the greatest.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And then here we go again. They're back at they're back there. So, and they're doing it with not. I'm not saying it's nobody's, but it's still they've got Mahomes and they've got Kelsey, but have they really got a 5-star running back? No, I don't. Not in the same, maybe, but not in the same level as they've not got a McCaffrey, a Henry, these sort of players. So they're doing exceptional things by just doing the really well coached, doing the basics really well, and while a team's doing that, I think it's very hard to knock them off their. There's nothing. I don't know. Mahomes isn't going to drop off in performance. He's just going to get stronger, more confident. He's learning the game more and more. He's not going to drop off. Kelsey, as much as I really don't dislike the guy, but when big moments he's there. You can't fault. That's no luck. It's no. When he makes these grabs, he makes these moments. He's always there. So, looking at it, if they don't win on Sunday, probably a 90% chance they're back there again next year, or they're thereabouts. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And Kelsey that week, as you said, Kelsey was 13 or 13 in the playoff game that week. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
just.
It's when it comes to this time of years when you get these teams that are, they're well drilled and they know what they're doing. And they're not there because of. So initially it was they had Tyreek Hill and things like that. And you're thinking, right, they've got all these, but when they can start doing it without massive amounts of household names and it's purely down to their fundamentals and their coach, and that's not going to change in the next year. So. It's then going to come down to that game in the playoffs, and can somebody out coach them or just play better on that day? And then that's just when it becomes 50-50 at that point, you know. So I think they're well on their way, unfortunately.
Another comparison I made with the Patriots early in the season was that the Patriots were very famous for having an elite quarterback and I would probably say average wide receivers. Yeah. Tom Brady still delivered year on year.
Yeah. And that's exactly the kind of what they compare. Like, you know, what I'm thinking is like we done it with just purely down to coaching and fundamentals and everyone believing in the one process and everyone being bought in to that ethos and that philosophy and things like that. And when you've got all that, then you don't really, you know, like the talent doesn't outshine hard work and things like that, you know, that sort of thing. So if you've got all these guys on that same boat, it's very hard to knock that down. You know, there's only going to be, you know, injury. You know what I mean? Okay, does Mahomes pick up an injury at some point? You know, is he going to miss a season there? You know, that could be the seasons where the things don't go too well. But you know, that'll be a a one-trick thing. But right now, you know, at times of a dynasty, I think something would drastic would need to happen over the next couple of years to see them fall away. And whether that's Andy Reid, you know, I think there was chat, you know, kind of near the end of the season there that he was maybe thinking of, you know, stepping away and things like that. So it could be that, you know, Reid stepping away that does, you know, that has that effect where there's just that little drop off, and then it's not, you know. But I would say it's not a dynasty yet, but you know, it's certainly or definitely on the way to it.
There's been a bit of chat what you say about Andy Reid, and there's also a bit of chat about obviously there was a Jason Kelce, is he retired, is he not retired thing, and there's a bit of chat is that the both of them want to retire at the same time. So the Chiefs without Andy Reid and without Travis Kelce suddenly become a completely different team next season. So that's something to watch going forward. I'm not going to get any great depth, but that's something definitely to watch.
But I think then there's the Brady effect was that people wanted to come and play alongside him, and then you're going to have that Mahomes effect. People are going to want to come along. So you know, even if you do lose the talent, you're still going to gain talent, and there's still going to be guys that want to come and play alongside that.
Especially if they're back-to-back Super Bowl winners, they're going to want to come and play there. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. So
no, that's good. What Paul's listening. Paul Stewart, he's a massive Cowboys fan. So shout out to Paul.
I know Paul.
He's a big Eagles Pirates fan as well. He's been a good point. He's basically saying the Chiefs are basically the running back by committee, which helps them as well. Whereas the 49ers without Christian McCaffrey suddenly they start struggling. Elijah Mitchell's there, but he's not.
Yeah,
he's not that kind of you're relying on. But the Chiefs could Pacheco is number one running back, but if they change it up and McKinnon's back or Edwards comes in, you're not going to get a massive drop off from Pacheco then. But from McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, it's a massive drop off. So that's something to watch going forward. Hi, Paul, I forgot about that. Former teammates forgot he's playing. Paul's one of the best coaches to do it. So yeah, Paul, 100% agree on that. So next point I'm going to move on in. This is only 2 points. We're really going to talk about the actual games. Is the 49ers to me, I've just realised I'm looking as if I'm right with the 49ers in my black and red Levi's t-shirt. So a comparison that thought of and I read was that the 49ers have been building up towards this. Obviously, they got close, but they've been building a team. And basically need that one key last piece to get it. And that doesn't compare with the Bucks. If you go back, the Bucks were building a team. And they added that one key piece in Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So they had the receivers, they had the running back, added Tom Brady, they got that key piece, won a Super Bowl. 49ers seem to have done that. They built a team, added that key piece in Christian McCaffrey. And so there's a comparison between those two teams there, which is good to see. And that's kind of how NFL teams tend to be now. It's not, you're not getting, unless you're the Rams, where you just basically put all your money on the table and go all in one season.
Yeah.
Teams are having to build for a good few years and pick up these players to get to that point.
I think you know that approach also breeds that you know that's where the sustainability and the success comes from, because you know you then bring these guys in at a younger age, and you get them embedded in what your ethos and your philosophies are, and and then you keep bringing more younger guys in who they and that is the good way of doing it. I think for me, the 49ers have built a really good team. I don't know, and they have been there or thereabouts the last couple of years, but to me, it still feels like there's something missing. Like, I don't know what that piece is, and a lot of people will point to say Purdy, and well, if he's not got Samuel there or Ayuk or McCaffrey, and then there's nothing. Which it's still early days, like you're still second season now.
Yeah, I think it's unusual that an X factor in the team isn't the quarterback. Do you know what I mean? It tends to be the quarterback is the X factor. It is Mahomes for the Chiefs, whereas with the 49ers, it's McCaffrey. And that's just very unusual to see that is the case. You normally have the superstar quarterback and potentially superstar running back at the same time. Very rarely is it the quarterback is not the superstar of the team. So I think potentially what you're alluding to there.
Yeah, I think that can work two ways for you as well, because if the running back is the biggest threat, if you're going up against Christian McCaffrey, then you're scheming towards Christian McCaffrey, because that's the biggest threat in the pitch, which then means that your passing game is slightly probably more open, which then lets Purdy be able to show off a bit more what he can do, and why he's probably doing what he's been able to do is because he has got something like McCaffrey there, where you need to basically scheme and run first, because if you're not shutting him, if you let him break one tackle, he's going to break 15-20 yards every time. So you're going to have to make sure your run game's intact first there. Which, if it is, and they're having to play run first every time, then and you've got receivers like Samuel Ayuk and things like that, you then have that you've got that ability right away to kind of have that that bit up. So, like, I don't think it's a bad thing, the X Factor not being on the quarterback. Rather, and the flip side, the 49ers are probably, scheming more towards keeping Mahomes in the pocket and make sure he doesn't scramble. Yeah. As soon as he gets out of the pocket, he's practically unplayable. His scramble abilities are unreal. You always protect. The amount of times he makes a pass off those scrambles, or he'll run it himself and keep it. But if you keep him in the pocket, it's in a bit tighter. So, they're probably going to be playing that first. So, and he's going to be focused of all their attention, which can then be sometimes a bit more pressure and maybe take a bit more of your game away, which you can't show at times. So. Yeah. I think whatever one team's got the X factor in, there's the pros of it, but there's also going to be the cons of it, because it's then highlightable and it's very, very obvious to then where a lot of the pressure that's going to be, and you want to have these other options. And I think, I just think sometimes though the 49ers, I don't know what I've kind of not watched many of their games because I've been later ones, but they haven't, the ones that have picked up on very slow starts, just. Seem to be very slow. First half, it's not been great, or the first quarter, second quarter, not been great, and then it's had to kind of come back and do a lot of things. Don't think you just can't do that on Sunday if you don't start fast against the Chiefs. They're firing on all cylinders. Then you're in for a long night.
Yeah, the 49ers need to do what they do best, which is get a lead. As soon as the 49ers with a lead are very difficult. Come back and beat. Once they've got a lead, you basically need to throw against them. I mean, and that's your run game goes out the window, and what it allows the 49ers to do is to play their run game more, which is what their strength is. So it is one of those ones where if you let the 49ers get out in front, you've got a fight on your hands, which is the Chiefs really can't afford.
They have got a good and the 49ers have got a good defense. They have got a good defense. But the Chiefs this year is I think, maybe not for other people, but for me, surprisingly, I don't think it was one of the D's that I'd kind of looked at and thought, that was a pretty good defense this year. And they have, been very, very good. So I think any given day is one of these ones. I don't think there's Chiefs on paper probably. Everyone's going to think there because they've got the experience, and Mahomes probably gives you that wee bit extra. But yeah, I think it's a tough one to call.
Yeah, So what we're going to talk about now is that the thing I love about the Super Bowl, and especially as a neutral when it comes to these games, is everything that goes on round about the game itself. So the game's obviously the game, but the Super Bowl is so much more than a game of football. So pre-game, you've got all the entertainment before the game. So we've got Reba, she's singing the national anthem. I didn't realise how big she was. 75 million records worldwide. She's sold. I didn't realise it's the Queen of Country. But she's going to have to go some way to beat, what's his name? Chris. What was his name? I completely forgot. The guy that sung it the other year. And it was the Eagles game.
I can't make it. I know.
It's just been right in my head. Do you know what I mean? I've had his name in my head for the last 10 minutes. And as soon as I got to say his name, Chris Stapleton. That's the one. Chris Stapleton. That was an amazing national anthem he sung there. So it's part of the whole pageantry of it. Post Malone, got to give a shout out to him. Big, massive Cowboys fan. Post Malone. So he's singing America the Beautiful.
Yep.
And then we've got Andra Day singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. So that's even before we even get the game started, we've got all that. And then my favourite, but being a self-proclaimed playing geek, we've got the Fly Past. And I didn't know who it was this year. And I realised, and I'm absolutely delighted because anybody that knows anything about planes is it's the Thunderbirds. So it's the US Air Force Demo F-16s, which is going to be amazing. And if Jim Nantz doesn't come out with the Thunderbirds Argo, I'm going to be raging. he's got Tony Romo, one of the two of them has got to come out with the Thunderbirds Argo at that fly past. That'll be an iconic moment in the Super Bowl coverage.
Just treat him up. Just constantly badgering him it to make sure he says it.
Exactly. And I'm going to make sure that whoever's in charge of our Twitter account, when that happens on Sunday night, is going to get that put out as well, because it's one of those moments where you just get that something. Talking about TV coverage, so this year we've got CBS covering it, so that is Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. What's your thoughts on them doing the games, Ian?
So Jim Nantz. You know, it's I'm not really that fussed about him. Like, Romo gets a lot of hate. But when he first came out, you know, when he first came on, everyone was like, "Oh, this is brilliant." Blah, blah, blah. To be honest, I actually don't mind him. Like, I can listen to him. Like, he is very insightful. He knows the game inside out. He's very clear to see. He sees a lot of things. But yeah, I've got no qualms with Romo. There's some other one, you know. I think a few times not last few, but when I was, you know, younger, it was Troy Aikman and things like that was on, and I'm like, I thought he was horrendous. So yeah, I'll take Romo. It's not, at least it's not Chris Collinsworth, that's fine.
Yeah, Greg Olsen, to be fair, he knows his stuff, but
yeah.
Paul's just did the exact same thing. I mean, Kevin Burkhart's quite good. I don't mind him, but Greg Olsen's just is a bit boring. But yeah, I mean, Tony Romo is. I mean, the inside, when he first came on, he was a complete breath of fresh air. Players going to go here, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and it was great. Yeah. But then I think CBS were like, well, we want more than that from you. We want actual analysis. We don't just want you to predict the plays. Yeah. There's a bit of chat at the end of last season where they're like, well, come on, get your prep done. Don't just predict what's going to happen. So, yeah, I said Tony Romo is obviously the next Cowboy.
I actually think he's got like not a calming voice or that, but like his voice, you know what I mean? It just, I don't know, it just sounds football to me now, and I'm just like, I can hear it sort of thing. So
yeah, he's one of those names now, isn't it? It's like going back, and I'm not in any way comparing him as a broadcaster in any way to John Madden. But John Madden was like the voice of football. Yeah. And now you're like, Tony Romo's becoming one of those really popular voices. It's always been, like you say, Troy Aikman and
Chris Collins, things like that. Yeah.
Terrible with names, I think, who always does it with Troy Aikman. I completely forgot his name. We also had people like Phil Simms and stuff like that. You had that kind of the older generation, but now Tony Romo's the kind of the new guy on the book. Do you know what else I'm looking forward to? Nickelodeon. I've got the slime cast.
Stuff again.
They got the slime cast back. That's brilliant. The way you get kids into the game is like, yeah, he's got a touchdown. I don't care. He's just been covered in slime. That's more important. Have you watched them? Have you seen them?
I've never watched a game through it. I've just seen the clips back and things like that what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, whoever came up with that idea deserves a massive pat in the back because it's absolutely genius. To be fair, you know, I never watched a full game. I don't think I watch a full game doing it. When you see the clips of whatever's happening, the stuff happening on the field and stuff like that,
It was the some of that stuff is great. It was the Toy Story one for the London game was absolutely.
That was good as well.
That was that was really good. To the point where my wee girl's 4, and I was able to share that with her, and she was watching. She obviously knows about football, in this household with me, but her then being able to see it through something that she enjoys as well was So that was really good.
I never mind your daughter, and I love Toy Story. I did it.
We'll watch the next time then.
So I had a bit of a kick-off question just after that about talking about what shows I should do next actually in the season, because that was quite interesting as well. I mean it's good, and it's presented by SpongeBob SquarePants. Who else could you get to present Nickelodeon Slimecast and SpongeBob? Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
So moving on to the actual game itself. So referee this year, and we were talking this just before we come on in, that Bill Vinovich is a referee who's arguably one of the best referees, definitely the modern era anyway. I can look at that from an objective point of view, with my dad being a referee, to be fair. Other people like, no. What started, but it came up, was that he refereed Super Bowl 54 between the Chiefs and the 49ers before, so there's a wee bit of history repeating itself there.
Script writers are slacking. They're not
No.
just repeating stuff. They're not getting read.
We've run out of ideas. We wrote the script for the whole season with all the random stuff that's happened. I think I'll just put whoever in charge. He done it before, that doesn't matter. Just throw it in. So same 2 teams again. We'll just give them the same referee again. But let's hope that become the end of the game, that the referees don't become the talking point, because that's not what we want in these type of games. But it's not. And I think that I guess there's a lot of fans out there that I always think these referees have got something on, but I think it's different. When you've played the sport and you've been involved in it, and you know how fast things go, and how just how quickly hand placements and things like that can be for referees to see everything every time. It's impossible. And then when you start going to cameras and you have freeze frames, everything in a single frame looks it can look horrendous, or it can look really bad. You know what I mean? So I don't get too upset with a lot of these missed calls and things like that, because some of the times it just happens so quick. There's so many bodies in there, and these guys are doing their best. They're not objectively going out there and deliberately trying to make bad calls and get bad press about themselves and then get hounded on social media. You know what I mean? The stuff that comes with making these bad calls isn't worth the. Yeah. I think a lot of the average punter don't understand as well, and obviously I've got a unique point of view on this, that as much as you've got 7 officials on the field, every one of them has a different role to do. They're not all watching the same thing on the field. They're not all watching the ball or where the pass is going or where the running back's going. They've all got their own assignments. So basically, if one person misses it, it's not as if because there was another 6 they should have picked up. That's not how it works. You've got the referees watching the quarterback. He's not watching what else happens on the field. He makes sure that what happens. So and I think your average punter doesn't quite understand that. Well, how did he miss that? Well, he missed it because he wasn't very looking at it. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, there is some questionable ones when you go, but then that comes down to that becomes down to each person's interpretation. If you've got the law there, then it's how I read the law and how I interpret it. It can be completely different to how you see it. You know what I mean? Yes. So you can put the exact same clip up for the 2 years to watch, and the 2 years can have a different opinion of it. That is the thing about what you said, Mikey. It's so subjective. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of things, and the reason why, obviously, they review a lot of plays in the NFL, but what they can't review is what's called a judgment call. Yeah. So if the referee's got to judge what happened, it's not a black and white call. If it's an opinion, you can't review that because, as you said, one person's opinion could be different from somebody else's. Oh, there's Ross joining us.
How are we doing?
Evening, Ross, how are you?
I'm not bad. Yourself, gentlemen?
All right.
Welcome. We're just in time. We're just talking about referees.
My favourite people.
What we're just saying is we're talking about the roles of the referees and how a lot of people don't understand that each official has got his own job. So they might miss something because that's not their role to look at that. And we're just talking about how with the review booth, you can't review something that's an opinion-based decision. So they can review if it's in or out, if it's a catch or not a catch. But whether the referee decides what it is or not, like holding or something like that, again, that's all subjective. So they can't review that type of things. Paul just said the reason for it is there's a shortage of officials and there's not enough experienced ones to teach the ones coming through. But it looks like we're going to be looking at next season before we even the season after, before we start seeing that change coming through. Yeah, so it'll be quite interesting to see how that plays out. Hopefully the refs don't become a part. Hopefully we'll see a lot of yellow flags and hopefully the game just flows. But it all comes down to the players at the end of the day. Ian, as a player, you'll know things happen in the heat of the moment. And I'm going to say I was at one of your games last season where he gave up 3 15-yard penalties back to back.
Yeah.
He basically, more than that, he gave, I think it was Manchester 75 yards or something like that in one series. But it all comes down to the players keeping their emotions and not letting these things happen.
Yeah, for some of the stuff, like I've had my fair share of flags, like over the years, but yeah, some of it is down to emotion. You know, some of it's again subjective. You know, do we interpret a block, or you know, again, it's just different to like what another referee might think. You know, I had one a few years ago where I was lead blocking down it from fullback, and I went down, and I didn't realise that the snap had went over the QB's head, and I get done for unnecessary roughness for annihilating the safety because they've said it was nowhere near the play. But like, how was I supposed to know that hadn't happened behind me? Because as soon as the snap's off, I'm away downfield. So I was.
Well, my dad that flagged you for that, to be fair.
You know what I mean? But like, to me, that's a bit like. That's
things like that.
It's like, come on.
Things like that you can't control, but it's the ones where the players they let the occasion get the better of them, and they need to control their emotions and keep themselves in terms of that. I mean, we've seen it with the Ravens. I think the Ravens they lost the head, and that blew the game for them.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no need for Zay Flowers to stand over that, you know. And the Todd one, like that's well known. Like you're just not going to get away with it. Like there's somebody going to be watching, and it's just stupid. And then, he's trying to make up for it by the next play, and he's trying to dive in when he didn't really need to dive in. And don't get me wrong, it's an absolute phenomenal play from the Chiefs D. But yeah, the taunting ones are stupid.
Yeah. Ross, how do you think these players are going to keep their cool in a big game like this?
You would like. I mean, I can't really see it being a dirty game. I think it's whether the refs kind of allow wee things like. I'm not saying they should allow any kind of holding going, but if it's kind of in the doubt of their opinion, was it quite holding, whatever, like, it's whether they can let it flow. But the players know as well. It's some of them might not get back to a Super Bowl again with their ages and that. They should know that they don't want to cost their team. And also, I can't be bothered on Twitter or X where rival fans of every other team being like, the Chiefs were given it by the referees, the 49ers were given it by the referees. It's the most boring, senseless argument in the world. Every team gets flags on them. Every team commits, fouls. It's just, I hate seeing it. It's such a mind-numbingly boring argument on Twitter.
I'm so glad we get this bit over by before Studs comes on, by the way, because he's
no.
always at it about the refs and the Chiefs. Well, I never give the Chiefs anything. So I'm glad we get this bit over there before Studs comes on. He's probably sitting listening, getting home for his game, thinking, I wish I was on doing this section. Right, talking about the refs, so the refs obviously get an important job at that, but the first important job that the referee's got to do is to start against the coin toss. And I was looking at some random stats for this because we're just talking nonsense tonight, Ross, by the way. We've covered the teams, we've covered the players, we're just talking about everything else that goes with the Super Bowl, apart from the game of football itself. Oh, there he is, there's a big chief. Wait a minute, we'll get him in. There he is. The big Chief's here.
Finally made it.
You've just missed us talking about the referees and how they give the Chiefs everything.
Listen, I heard these as I was coming home. I put it on in the car, so I was listening.
Ears were burning.
I was shouting Chris Stapleton as well. I couldn't believe you forgot his name.
I thought it in my head for 10 minutes. I'm going to mention Chris Stapleton. I'm going to mention it. Chris. I couldn't remember his name. Here's some stats for you guys. So I didn't realise. See, last year was the first time in 9 years that the team has won the coin toss has won the Super Bowl. 9 years.
Jesus. Jesus.
The last team that won the coin toss and won the Super Bowl was the Seahawks in the 2013-14 season. That's a random stat, I know. So the odds, obviously, believe it or not, heads is evens, tails is evens. What's the chances of that? So across Super Bowl history, we've had heads 27 times and tails 30 times. I know it means absolutely nothing, but Studs, what are you calling if you're walking out and you're Jair Alexander for the Super Bowl?
Walking out even though I'm not meant to be there.
Aye.
I'd probably go heads. Just
Well,
to be
what's
different.
yours?
I'd go law of averages heads.
Oh, Ian,
In my head, I was going heads as well. So
just me. I'm the opposite. Tails never fails. That's
I
the
know,
way it is. I'm always, no matter what it is,
hate that.
tails for me.
Hate that saying.
An interesting thing would be, would you rather your team won the coin toss and chose whether they received the ball first or second half, or would you rather your team lost it and didn't have the choice?
Nah, you want to win it in the fair, I think. Would you think, Ian?
So like interestingly, like this is something we've been talking about recently. That so like, when I've been coaching as a defensive coach, I kind of want the offense to take the ball on the basis that they just settle into the game and start getting going. I find that if they do, they'll go 3-and-out or whatever, then that's fine, and then the D can come into it. But I can find, I feel like starting a game with your defense on the pitch, and if you give up a score on that first drive, it then can be quite deflating, or it can be, it can lead to that negativity. Well, if the offense go 3-and-out, they go 3-and-out. They're kind of used to that, whether getting scored on, just not exactly. So I would always want to take the ball, just from that aspect, and just get everyone out and just chew up clock, whatever. I think having your D on right away and try to suss the game out, not really knowing what's happening yet, and then boom, you're 7-0 down right away, and then your offense goes 3-and-out right away. Then your D's back on again, and well, if they go 3-and-out, first of all, you then get a chance to you've got a chance to rejig things for your next offensive drive. And if minimum your offense is coming back on the pitch, if it's 7, that's fine. But you know what I mean, like they've got a chance to. They've already this is their second drive now, and they've already got stuff tweaked, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think you want to take the ball.
Studs, Pat Mahomes walks out, wins the coin toss. What does he do?
He's deferring every day of the week, I can guarantee you that one. But what I will say on that side of it, I thought it was interesting, and sorry to do this to you, Dan, but when you look at what the Packers done against the Cowboys, get out, give us the ball, let's get a score early, put the Cowboys under pressure. And it's tying in with exactly what Ian's saying. It's like that defence was, they lose the score, probably not something they're used to at AT&T, given their record as being behind. So fair play to the Packers for having the balls to do it. And again, based on 49ers' recent performances, I wouldn't be adverse for the Chiefs to take the ball first. And just start running on them. And you've seen what the Lions done early, like the 49ers, they ran all over the top of them.
It's exactly what we said earlier on. I just think 49ers have got slow starts in them, and if you just want to go right away and let them crumble.
I know, definitely.
I was like, but you never thought he'd be on here tonight talking about the coin toss and how it was going to go, Hey guys, we're going to do it. Wouldn't it be me hosting a pod with a wee bit of trivia, a wee bit of quiz? So I'm going to use a wee bit of trivia and a wee test your knowledge of Super Bowls. All right, so let's pull up. I've got a random thing here. Let's see. Let's go with first question. How many times has a Super Bowl featured a rematch? So how many times have two teams played each other in the Super Bowl more than once? Shit a random number out.
6.
I'll go 10.
Ian?
8.
Oh, it's 9. 9 times we've had Super Bowl rematches. Which teams get the most Super Bowl losses?
Bills.
I knew somebody was going to say the Bills. I knew something. It's no.
I'm just thinking. I'm just
all those in a row.
I know.
Bengals.
49ers?
Who did you say, Studs?
Bengals.
Nah, it's the Broncos and the Patriots. They both lost 5. There you go. Which cities hosted the most Super Bowls?
New Orleans Superdome.
LA.
Second.
Ah,
I was going to say something like Miami.
Yes, Miami 11 times. New Orleans has got 10. Hard Rock's only had it 6 times. Obviously, it's a reasonably new stadium, but Miami's hosted 11 times. And where is it this year? Vegas this year, isn't it? So
Vegas
let's
first
see
time.
where it's going to be. It'll be back in Miami at some point. How many teams have played the Super Bowl in their home stadium?
2.
2 Bucks.
Yeah, easy one. That was an easy one.
Bucks and Rams.
Who's the oldest player to play in the Super Bowl?
Adam Vinatieri.
Nope.
Oh, that's a great shout. I like that one actually.
is it that
Very
boy
obvious.
for the Ram? Is it Brady?
Whitworth?
Oh, Brady.
No, Brady, Tom Brady,
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Oh,
43 years old. I think. How much does a Lombardi Trophy cost?
$3 million.
$1.5 million. I don't have any idea. Is it solid?
Nah, it's
silver,
way off.
is it?
50 grand.
That's pretty cheap.
I know.
Is it?
They make a new one every year. So
That's disappointing.
it's made out of silver. It's sterling silver, so it's not as if it's the most expensive. I definitely make a new one every year. Weighs £7. It looks like a big chunky thing.
It looks a lot heavier.
£7.
when Brady was chucking it for that boat, it looked
I
a lot
was going to
heavier.
say to you. It looked a lot
When I
heavier.
read that stat today, I was like, £7.
I think £7 is heavier than you think.
You think so?
What's 7? I don't know the conversion, but £7 is like, what's that, half a stone?
Aye.
That's all right.
That's no for half.
That's the trick. I'll put you in my there. So as part of the whole Super Bowl and then everything goes with it and the rise of it has, we're also at the halftime show, guys. I mean, the guys did a good chat on this last night. It was a kick-off question last night on the 49ers preview, so we're not going to get into too much detail. But I still do going to ask you the same question. So this year we've got Usher, massive star. No surprises that he has a new tour that tickets go on sale on Monday morning. What would be the chances of that? Who would have seen that one coming? But without going with too much time on it, Ian, what's your favourite Super Bowl halftime show of all time?
I'm not going to lie, I don't really watch much of them if I'm being perfectly honest. Not my thing, but I think probably in recent times it was, the one a few years ago with Dr. Dre and Eminem.
Aye.
That was something else. That was, yeah. I mean, you've now stole my answer, but I thought somebody would before it came to me. But so I've got a backup one. Studs, what about yourself?
For me, again, the Dre one, I thought, with being in LA, that made sense. It was a good show. There was no denying that one. I'd probably go Prince. I thought the Prince one, for going a bit further back, was a really good one. Wasn't much into Prince at the time, but it was a pretty cool show.
Ross?
I don't want to give my answer now.
J-Lo and Shakira.
That was a great one, but I really like the Coldplay one with Beyonce and Bruno Mars coming in. I think that's a belter. I get so underrated.
Yeah, I'm a massive Coldplay fan, so I can agree with that one.
Either.
I'm actually going to go at a band who are a huge band that I had never heard of until I watched them at the Super Bowl, and it was Tom Petty. I'd never heard of Tom Petty, and I watched it at the Super Bowl, and now they're one of my most listened to playlists on Spotify. So I'm going to go with that because I can't go with Dre and stuff like that. So, but we've got Apple Music doing it this year with Usher, so I'm assuming we're going to see some special guests because there's no way they'll just have an Usher doing a halftime show. It would have.
But we thought that last year with Rihanna though. I thought Rihanna would have had some guests and nothing.
She kind of went solo, didn't she?
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm a pure sucker for the halftime show. I really hope we get a couple of really good guests. Sean Paul would be good. You're like shaking your head. Ian's like, what?
Just get back to the
I mean, if it's Usher, you're going to have to have Ludacris. You know,
Ludacris is going to be there. There's no denying
Got to be,
Ludacris is going to be there.
and Little John as well with his mad raspy voice.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If you look at the two of them on then something's completely wrong. I mean, I'm interested to see it. It's just this is part of the folks. This is an NFL podcast you're listening to, by the way. Just in case you're wondering what you've tuned into tonight. So I always look forward to halftime shows. I mean, we could always have Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake again, couldn't we? Yeah?
The infamous wardrobe malfunction.
Wardrobe malfunction that just happened to have something underneath it to show off that. Why was that was just randomly there. It's all part of the fun and games. Right, guys, the Super Bowl, as we mentioned, there's so much goes on around about it. So I've pulled up some crazy bets that you can get for the Super Bowl. We're not going to really endorse betting on the crew. That's not what we're doing. But just for a bit of fun, we're talking about this. So one of the ones that you can get, and I think it's really, really funny, is you can actually bet on what colour Gatorade the winning coach will be covered by.
Yes.
I mean, I thought Gatorade was orange.
No,
you get blue as well.
You get red and pink.
red,
Red,
white, all sorts.
So purple is the favourite, apparently. I don't know why, but that must be the favourite flavour of the players or something like that. So you get purple, orange, yellow, green, blue, red or pink, or clear or water. You can get a bet on them just throwing water. Just pick up the ring thing and hit the water. You get a good bet on that. 11 to 1 if you want to just bet on them pouring water over the head coach. 20 to 1 that they don't get it. That's just wasting your money because somebody's getting a Gatorade back. In case you want to know stats, right? Since 2001, there's been 5 orange, 5 none, which I thought I was quite surprised at. 4 clear, 3 yellow, 3 purple, 3 blue, 2 purple. So why kind of weigh up where it's going to go and what's been in the past? There you go. There's your runners and riders of what colour Gatorade is going to get thrown over the winning head coach.
They're going with the script writers, obviously, aren't they, with the purple sign for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's what the purple's been. It's not been the Ravens, it's the colour of Gatorade.
Exactly.
Lump on.
2 red teams and purple Gatorade. There we go. We should have known that.
Solved the mystery.
We should put a bet on that at the start of the season.
This is your new Scooby-Doo crew.
I was going to say even Scooby-Doo wouldn't have figured that one out. He's too busy running past the vol-au-vents and the sausage rolls at the buffet fucking 10 million times as he's running down the corridor.
Probably Jackson Mahomes' next TikTok.
I went and seen one of the other. I don't know if you've got a couple of the other strange bets there, but one that made me laugh was it was about 5 to 1 for Kelsey to propose on the pitch to Taylor Swift, which I think would be an absolute power move if they lose. I would really, because it would completely usurp the game. Just Kelsey and Taylor Swift engaged. I think it would be a fantastic move.
One's quite short on that. Like, you know what I mean?
And I thought 5 to 1 was quite short as well. I was quite surprised.
It's been mentioned a few times this week on Good Morning Football, and I think today they were even saying if he does it, what's going to be the bigger talking point, the Super Bowl or the fact that he get engaged? And you're like, come on.
I don't think he's the best idea.
No,
he's thrown into this kind of limelight, and he's just still getting used to it. I think that would just be. I don't think that's his modus operandi. I don't think he would do that. He's a very private guy, but that may be completely wrong.
I think he's all about. He done The Bachelor or something like that, didn't he, man? So he's all about that. He's all about like giving himself air telly and stuff like that. To take
chasing Travis Kelce or something like that.
Something like that, man.
We all know what a scorigami is.
Yes.
Yes.
So you get a bet on that.
Unique.
So to be a scoregami, it's 20 to 1 for yes, 101 to no.
Oh,
I don't know what options are for scoregamis. Follow the count in Twitter.
I like that.
The scoregami account on Twitter's brilliant, man. I've always checked
So
that.
good.
Like, I want to know. Like, I want to know where they work out the percentages from, because it'll like the game will be like 7-3 or something, and there's a 19% chance that it finishes 33-27. Like, where is that coming from?
I know they must have a big database of all the scoregamis, and just type the score in. What's the chances of it being one of these?
Yeah.
I mean, it just gives you whatever the biggest odds are. It's mental.
And then, but some of the ones I've looked through them, and it's like, this is the 800th time I've had this score. So there is some scores that are more common than others, but I like watching that on a Sunday.
That Reds on in one bit and scoregami.
Scoregami, brother, aye.
It only really starts getting interesting towards the end of the fourth quarter, though. You're like, that's interesting, but I'll come back to you. I know.
Aye.
You can also get a bet on how long the national anthem will last as well. You know that one?
I seen that one last year actually with Chris Stapleton when I was looking at the bets.
Wait a second, I'll tell you that. That was one of the mad random trivia points that I had to find it. Where is it?
Was it how many times it's went over or something?
So the longest is Alicia Keys, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Wait a minute, it's the same song. How can it last different lengths of time? You know what I mean?
Don't they?
The average length is 1 minute and 50 seconds. So, Alicia Keys, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So, get a stopwatches out for when Reba steps up and get on.
I got well done one.
See how it's a country singer. This a bit slower song sometimes on it, so you never know.
Chris Stapleton was a country singer as well, remember?
I don't know what his time was. It was a cracker that we spoke about earlier on. It's probably the best one that I've remembered.
I think it was definitely under with the bookies. I remember that.
Aye. You're a bet on it, Studs.
I think I did.
Here's another start for you. How many Super Bowls have went to overtime?
Oh, God.
2.
4.
9.
1.
That's the Falcons Patriots.
Yeah.
Wow.
28-3 game.
I
Super Bowl game that's ever went to overtime. I was surprised when I looked up as well, but I thought maybe they'd been. I know in my life I couldn't think of any, but going back, I thought there must.
Aye, that's what I was
thinking. Overtime. No, just the one. So
that's crazy.
Ross, as a neutral, we're going to start getting towards predictions and stuff like that. What I want from you is a kind of wee overview how you think the game will go without giving a prediction straight away. Who you think will get MVP, and then ultimately who do you think will win the game?
I think I could really see it being a bit of a slug out defensively. I don't know if we'll get the prettiest game of back and forth, but you've got Mahomes, and I think he'll find a way to get his touchdowns. I think the big thing for the Chiefs is stopping McCaffrey. I think they'll hit Purdy enough. I think they'll sack him enough that they'll get the chances. But you've got to make sure you're stopping McCaffrey on the run, because that's the big thing. And to be fair, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, there's big weapons for the 49ers. I think if you look at it offense v offense, 49ers take it, but I think defensively it's so much tighter. So I could see it being a bit low scoring, like maybe under 43 or something. It could be something like that. I don't really see it being last year was 73 points. I can't see it getting anywhere near there.
Who's your pick for MVP then, Ross?
Mahomes.
Ian, yourself. So how do you see the game going?
I think it's going to go 2 ways. It's either going to be a blowout for the Chiefs. I think I've said it a few times now. Just the 49ers, they need to start quick. If they don't, I don't think they've got a bit of hope. And then if they do start, I think it's going to be a close one. I don't see them. I don't. The Chiefs' offense, they're not going to bust. They're not going to be blown out or anything like that. So, yeah, I think it's either going to be a blowout Chiefs or a close one with either team potentially near the end.
Who would your pick for MVP be?
Personally, I want to see McCarthy. I think it's this boy. This is what he's here for. This is what he came for. This is what I think he's just going to go out and give everything on Sunday. And, I'd like to see him take it.
Studs, obviously we know how I think the game's going to go, but how do you think it'll actually play out? You're on mute. You're muted, Studs.
Right, sorry. So I see for me, I think, again, Ian's obviously kind of alluded to it, it's about the 49ers starting slow. I think the last 2-3 games, or certainly the last 2 playoff games, they've started real slow and teams have been able to run on them. So I think Pacheco's going to get motored in. For me, I think he's going to be huge. And I think it's that way where, similar to what we've done against the Ravens, is if we build up a lead, I just don't see our defence losing points. I think there's only been something like 3 or 4 times this season that they've lost more than 20 points. They're not a defence that loses a lot of points. So for me, I think, again, it's the word of the day just now. Mahomes is going to manage the game. He's going to be that game manager. He'll get us the lead, same as what we've done against the Ravens for me, and we'll go for there.
MVP?
Again, as a quarterback award, so the obvious answer really is Mahomes on that, but I'd love to see somebody like maybe Ian obviously alluded to CMC. I'm kind of obviously talking about Pacheco. I'd love to see somebody like that win it, like Pacheco or a Kelsey, somebody that's not a QB. Or I think last year, I actually think if Nick Bolton, if that the fumble doesn't get called back, that he runs in for a second touchdown, I think Nick Bolton's probably close to getting MVP last year. So maybe somebody on the defensive side, like Snead's had an unbelievable season. So see somebody like him, if he could come up big again, I'd love to see it. Albeit, part of me wouldn't love to see it because it'd probably make the contract negotiations a little bit harder if he walks away with MVP. But somebody like that, I would love to see that as well. But I think Mahomes is the obvious answer. But again, maybe Pacheco would be good, or somebody in the defensive side.
Yeah, it's going to be a very fascinating game, and we said earlier on, like, the 49ers are good at getting a lead and holding on to it because they force teams to then force teams to pass, which allows the 49ers to run, and they've got the best running back in the game, so it allows them to get a lead and take time off the clock whenever they want, and that's what I think the Chiefs need to watch against. As you say, the Chiefs haven't conceded much points, but they're coming up against a completely different animal here. I really struggle to see how I think this is going to go. I think it is going to be a tight game. It could easily be a shootout. You know what I mean? That's the thing with these two teams. It could, but on the flip side of it, it could easily be two defences that step up and make the game as tight as it can be. I'd like to see something different win the MVP. But probably you've got with someone like a Kelsey or a wide receiver, is someone's got to throw them the ball. So if Kelsey gets 4 touchdowns, so does Pat Mahomes. So Pat Mahomes is going to get the MVP trophy. That's just the way it works, unfortunately. I'd like to see Kittle win it. I'd like to see George Kittle win the MVP. Somebody, like you said, a wee bit different. And obviously Studs isn't going to agree with that one. But I watched the wee interview he done the other day with him and his wife, and it seems like a really nice guy, so I'm going to go with him. So
again, you alluded to it yourself. If Kittle's going to be catching the ball, and it's Purdy throwing him it, so for Kittle to get close to the MVP, Purdy's going to be there.
If Kittle's if Purdy goes anywhere near that, they're going to give him it just purely because Mr. Irrelevant is now the Super Bowl MVP.
The story, yeah,
exactly. I mean, so
the other thing, the other kind of potential that could be is Nick Bosa. If they're able to nullify Mahomes and keep Mahomes in the pocket, and then stop that offense, then I think you'd probably need to look at Bosa for that. And if he is the guy that stops that, then he's probably the guy who wins the game, which then he's the most valuable player. So I think it probably depends on how the game goes from a 49ers point of view. And they'll need to have both sides of the ball firing to make it work.
It all depends if Bosa can bring his cell away from bitching about getting held all the time. So
back to the ref again. Surprise, surprise.
What I found funny with that one was I was listening to Good Morning Football earlier today, and Mitchell Mitch Swartz was on, and he was literally saying, like, how do you feel about that? And it's like, listen, it's like, if you feel that you've been harshly judged or held, then you hold that with you. He's like, he probably was being held. He's like, I'm not going to turn around and lie to you and say he wasn't getting held on the jet chip loss play. But he's like, he says it's just the way the things move. He's like, it probably looked worse than what it was, or he felt it was getting held. And so Mitch Schwartz was basically saying he probably was getting held.
I mean, if Nick Bosa, if he's got a problem with getting held this season, he should go back and watch Micah Parsons' game tape for this season. I mean,
got to bring it back to the Cowboys.
Holdings, hey guys, I've only seen something for last night's show. The guys were Keith asked a good question. Give me one random play that's going to happen in this game. Ian, first, give me something completely random that's going to
happen. Pick 6 is then stripped back.
Ooh.
Well, not pick 6, but yeah, let's go for it, and then it's stripped back off him.
Ross?
A Pacheco thrown touchdown.
Ooh,
as in he throws it. No QB.
Studs?
I think we're going to see a Kelsey lateral for a touchdown. We're going
I was
to
going
get
to say
that play. We're going to get that Bills play that we should have had if Tony wasn't just a complete moron.
Can you just imagine he was offside again? Can you imagine?
Man.
I mean, he is WR1 though, so he should know better, apparently. He is WR1 in Kansas City.
No any Marys though. He'll might be back on punt returns, but that'll be about it.
I'm going to go with something very similar, but I'm going to go with Brock Purdy touchdown reception. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. Kind of Philly type thing. That's what I'm going to go. 49ers play. Right, we've already given our MVPs, which I'm assuming means we've already basically called who we're going to win it. But give us your predictions, Ian. Who's winning? And give us a score.
So my head is probably leaning towards Kansas, but I want San Fran to win. Mainly just because I just don't like watching Kansas, and then they've kind of took over from where I was. But
coming from a Pats fan.
I'll go. I'm going to go 28-24 San Fran.
Ross?
23-20. The Chiefs, I think, 2 touchdowns first quarter, then a horrible second quarter when nothing happens. Start of third quarter, nothing happens, and then the last half of the third quarter, fourth quarter, will be a couple of touchdowns, couple of field goal to win it.
Studs?
I think I put a prediction out earlier on the day on Twitter on some, so I'll go with the same prediction, 27-17 Chiefs. But as I think I've mentioned it before to you, Dan, or on the pod, I think there's an eerie similarity to the 49ers run to the Super Bowl this year against the Chiefs run when we beat the 49ers in Miami, where they've been coming for those double-digit losses in games and they've been coming back. I think there's eerie similarities, but I'll stick with the Chiefs. I think our defence is just going to finish the job.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really tight, and I think we'll and I've predicted this a couple of times this season. It's not happened yet, so I'm going to predict it anyway. I'm going to the 49ers winning by a walk-off field goal. It's been a while since we've seen one of them, so let's go. I'm not going to do maths on how these scores could actually happen or not. I'm going to go 31-30 49ers. It's going to be really tight. I don't know how the maths adds up. That 4 touchdowns and a field goal. 3 field goals. That works. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. So let's see how it goes. We need a good game, guys. Studs are like, no, good game, nothing. Win or nothing. That's it. The worst game ever as long as the Chiefs win.
Correct.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been good. It's been a very relaxed chat tonight. We've not kind of stuck to our usual kind of way of doing things because we've covered the Super Bowl being previewed this week by the crew and by the Chiefs fans and by the 49ers fans, and it's been great to listen to seeing those points of view. So we've just talked absolute nonsense tonight, which I've actually really enjoyed. Ian, are you going to the campus with the team on Sunday night?
I am not, no. So my good friend and Pirates offensive coordinator Gordon Wallace, it's his wedding on Sunday, so I am at his wedding on Sunday for that, and then I'll be heading home from there and watch the game in my house. So it'll be relatively quiet.
Excellent. As I was just there, the Boxisco Big Pirates Glasgow Tigers have got a joint Super Bowl party at campus in Glasgow. So if you have not got a ticket for anywhere else, get along there and join the guys for the game. Ross, what's your plans for the game?
I'm doing an early shift in work and then finish about 4ish, 4:30. Go and stock up on beer, snacks, debating whether to get a nap in, and then, because that is a very late start, and then about 11 o'clock, I'm phoning a hoagie, and then should be here for the start of the game. That's my plan. Sit on the couch.
Studs, me and you, we're in it for a long haul on Sunday, aren't we?
Aye, we're in long haul meeting at Bucks Bar and then on to committee rooms for a live pod. I think we're saying 4:30 meeting point. So
we meet at 4:30. Everybody's, we're going to have a live pod, but the committee rooms have very kindly extended their welcome to the crew to go and record the live pod. I think we're going to go live about 6:30 for about an hour. Record the live pod in the committee rooms and join in with the party in there afterwards. A quiz and stuff like that as well before the game. Hopefully get a wee bit of content created while we're there as well. It's been very kind of the guys at committee rooms to invite us along. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it's going to be a long day and night for us, but worth it.
Aye, as long as there's no beer pong, because the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl, when I was away with a few of the guys watching it, there was beer pong, and I never saw the second half. I was lying on a table with my head against the table, never saw a thing.
Might not want to see second half stuff, so it might not have a bad idea.
Well, that could gauge how hard they're drinking. To be fair, if the first half's going badly, then I'll just start getting smashed.
If your beer pong cups are as good at catching balls as your wide receivers are, you'll be fine.
I said we've got Rashi Rice. He's catching things, and even MVS.
Hey, move back!
Yay!
Jerick McKinnon no back as well.
He's been activated off IR, but I think he's similar to Tooney in the fact he's still a bit of a long shot. I think he's got a better chance than Tooney of making it, but I think he's still a long shot, to be fair.
Well, guys, thanks very much for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure. Hope you all enjoy your Super Bowl plans and games and have a good time at the wedding, Ian.
Thank you.
Folks, everyone that's watching, listening, thanks for tuning in. It's been a massive week for the crew this week. This is our third pod of the week. We've still got one more to go this week. We've brought you content from both sides of the fence and a wee bit neutral until Studs appeared tonight. We're fairly neutral tonight. 75% neutral. For 75% of the time we were on here as well. So we've done all right there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Join us for our live pod on Sunday night. Let us know where you're watching the game. Catch us on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere you can get your socials. The crew are there. Let us know where you're watching the game. Get us some pictures across. If you're in Glasgow, drop us a message. If you want to have a wee chat, we can maybe arrange something. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. We certainly will, and we'll catch you next week. We may have a bit of a mop-up of the game, and we'll talk about what's coming next for the crew. So good evening, folks, and I'll catch you all later.
Bye.